The Surfside Channel started breaking in the late 1980s while they were widening the jetties at Freeport. It was a fickle and imperfect wave that rarely broke. But people loved it because it broke clean during storm surf and when the rest of the upper coast of Texas was blown out. A friend and I stumbled upon it breaking in early 1989 while we were checking the surf at the new Surfside jetty. It was small, but it was really clean. Looked a lot like this. The new jetty was finished this day, and the old jetty was still out there. They had just started digging it up, so there were 3 jetties there this day. We found out later that it had broken big from the Hurricane Gilbert swell just a few months earlier. It went quiet after they finished the widening process, but it started breaking again in a few years when a shelf silted in on the north side of the channel entrance. In 1995, Hurricane Roxanne sent a rough swell our way, and the Surfside Channel broke big for the upper coast of Texas, and pretty clean considering all the wind. The following year, it broke big again for the upper coast, this time when an extratropical swell got in there. And this swell was kind of a maelstrom. There were weird-looking waves of all shapes and sizes, with some good ones coming through too. It happened on a weekend and got pretty crowded. There was even a surf contest going on in the middle and inside breaks. And by Saturday afternoon, there were hundreds of people circulating in and out of the lineup, with surfers of all skill levels out along the entire length of the jetty. This is one of the swells that people remember when they think about the place, and it was around this time that it started being referred to as simply the Channel. Just a few weeks later, it broke big again for the upper coast. This time from a pressure gradient between a hurricane still down in the Caribbean Sea and high pressure over the eastern United States, making strong, straight-line east-west winds all the way across the northern Gulf. It happened during some really nice fall weather, and this is another one of the swells that people remember when they think about the Channel. Every time the channel broke, it was a pretty big event for surfers on the upper coast of Texas. Winter swells were cleaner, more lined up, had better form, but still pretty good size for the upper coast of Texas. This day had a middle break and a far outside break, and some of them were connecting all the way through. By the way, this is a pretty darn good wave for the upper coast of Texas, considering this guy is well over 6 feet tall. It's a pretty good ride, too. This is another good wave, especially for the upper coast. Cynical types would sneer and look down their nose at the channel, but a lot of people liked it. On these kind of days, it was difficult to choose between surfing or shooting video. The perspective of the channel was especially interesting, and perhaps one of the best on the upper coast of Texas, with the surfer riding by at eye level and then taking a high line across with that old Quintana jetty in the background. Around 2002, they did some more dredging out at the end that made it stop breaking big on the tropical swells, but it kept breaking good in the winter. These winter swells were a test of one's dedication and diligence because they broke on some of the coldest, stormiest days of the year, and there were no cams on the channel. You had to watch the weather and tides pretty close if you wanted to catch it good. Here, dedication and diligence are rewarded with a good day of surf in the channel on the upper coast of Texas.
Oh man, that's a chick, man. Oh yeah, that's a chick. No way, dude, she's getting it.
Yeah, look, that's still great. That's still a nice line. Still go to the nose, baby. Come on. Go to the nose. Look at that line. Oh, yeah. Woo, take it to him, man.
Yeah. Over time, the ships got bigger, and because they wanted two-way traffic, they dredged the channel out deeper and wider, or at least deep and wide enough where it doesn't break in there anymore. And the last reference I can find to it breaking was in 2013. There's been a growing interest in novelty waves. A search finds novelty wave defined as a spot that has unique redeeming features that compensate for its lack of quality in the usual sense. This could be an unusual location, inconsistency, or it could just be really fun for reasons other than being a high-performance wave. This is a fitting description for the channel and explains why people liked it so much. It's ironic, but the widening of the jetties that created the channel break contributed to erosion at nearby Surfside Beach, and more specifically the Octagon, an important break to surfers on the upper coast of Texas. This is an ongoing issue, and we've posted some videos of the surf at the Octagon before the worst of the erosion.